Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today, taking a look at a new version of a Boros Blitz deck. Saw this over on Twitter last week and I thought it looked super awesome and I just knew I had to revisit the archetype. Before I talk a little bit about the deck, the usual YouTube stuff, like, comment, and subscribe if you can. Thank you very much for doing that. And I will put a link to the original tweet as well as a link to the deck list and timestamps in the description as always. So since it is a Boros Blitz deck, we're going to be playing very familiar creatures. We have Soulscar Mages, Lumimancers, and Light Scribes. Only 2 Soulscar Mages, which I think is going to be pretty good for some people. I've been reading comments of people saying they don't have full playsets of Soulscar Mage, so hey, this time you only have to craft 2. And we're also playing 4 10th District Legionnaires. It is a 2/2 for 2 with haste that says whenever you cast a spell that targets 10th District Legionnaire, put a +1/+1 counter on 10th District Legionnaire and then scry 1. Lots of cards are going to trigger this ability, and of course if we have a Light Scribe on the field with a 10th District Legionnaire, things are going to get wild real fast. Got a couple more creatures in the deck, 4 Selfless Saviors to provide a little bit of protection for our creatures, and then 4 Dreadhorde Arcanists, which is probably the second most important card in our deck after the Leonin Light Scribe. Of course, with any Boros deck, we're going to have to run a whole bunch of spells. So we have 2 Fight as 1. It's a pump spell. It's also a protection spell. Then 4 Guiding Voice. This is a new one for me. Sorcery Speed 1 CMC spell that says put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Really cool card with the Dreadhorde Arcanist. If you can permanently pump the Dreadhorde Arcanist up to 2 power, every time it attacks, it's going to have a wider variety of choices to bring back from the graveyard. And then it also has Learn on it, so you can go grab a lesson card from your sideboard, or you can use the looting effect that I talked about in my video on Monday if you saw that. And then it's also playing 4 Invigorated Rampage, an instant speed spell for 2 CMC, and this card is fantastic. It says target creature gets +4/+0 and gains trample until the end of turn, or 2 target creatures get +2/+0 and gain trample until the end of turn. Stumbling over that one a little bit. This card is super strong. It can very quickly get 8 power out of nowhere if you have a Dreadhorde Arcanist on the field to bring it back out of the graveyard. Absolutely love it, and the trample is super relevant. Got a couple more spells in the deck. 4 God's Willing, more protection, also scries, and 4 Reckless Rage because it's a really good removal spell in this deck since the 2 damage doesn't kill any of our creatures and in fact pumps up creatures like the 10th District Legionnaire. Then, of course, we're playing Lures as a companion, because why not? And then a few more cards in the sideboard. We have Environmental Sciences as a 1-of, Academic Probation 1-of, Expanded Anatomy 1-of, and an Inkling Summoning as a 1-of. All of these are your targets for Learn. And you know what? They're kind of lackluster, but hey, getting a 2/1 flyer at some points in some games can be important. Just keep in mind that you can always do the looting effect instead of grabbing one of these lessons cards from the sideboard. Then in the sideboard, we also have a whole bunch of removal, 2 Pillar of Flame, 2 Lightning Helix, and 1 Deafening Clarion. Bring them if you need them. And then 3 Adanto Vanguards and 2 Soul Guide Lantern. Soul Guide Lantern obviously good for graveyard strategies, and then Adanto Vanguard is fantastic against removal heavy decks like Jeskai Control. So this is the Boros Blitz deck. I think it looks super sweet, and actually I've been having a lot of success with it in testing. Gonna run it through a few games and see how they go. See you over there. Alright, so some Boros Magecraft. Feels good to be back playing an aggro deck. Haven't really been playing too many of them lately. And opening hand looks sweet. Get to go first, have 2 good creatures, and a little bit of protection if I can get to that point. See what the opponent is on. Very pretty My Little Pony sleeves for them. They did mulligan down to 6. And they have a mountain. Bad sign because they open with a shock. Alright, well, that's the way it's going to be. Still go out with the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Hopefully try to get some value out of that with the Guiding Voice. Okay. Well, the unfortunate thing here is missing the 3rd land drop, obviously. So I could Guiding Voice. Yeah, I think that's what it's got to be. It's got to be Guiding Voice. Grab maybe the Environmental Sciences so I can go find a land certainly next turn. And I may as well do this again. This time I will grab the Inkling. Now that the Dreadhorde Arcanist is up to 3 power, next turn, you know, if I do draw a land, maybe I could play out the Inkling Summoning and make two 1s. It's not the worst thing to be doing. And the Dreadhorde Arcanist pumping it up is pretty sweet because it does have trample, so yeah. Be really cool if they tried to use some kind of removal on it right now, because I do have the fight as one back. Sure. Don't mind that attack. Okay, find the land. So I think I'm going to play it a little bit safe. Put that out first before I do anything, just so I can hold the fight as one up. I'm kind of thinking I want to go out with Environmental Sciences, so I know I'm going to hit my lands for the next couple of turns. Gain a little bit of life. Environmental Sciences, not so bad when you can flash it back like this. I think I probably want plains over mountains. They could chump block here, but I think they probably just let it through. Yep. Sweet. Well, kind of got to hope they don't have a great turn 4, and then next turn maybe can start doing some cool stuff, setting up for the following turn with the Leonin Lightscribe and another Dreadhorde Arcanist. Maybe go out with the summonings. I don't know. Okay, so this is just going to be... Izzet aggro? Sure. So, opponent wants to race. Scry one to the top. Maybe it was a land. No, it wasn't. Well, Reckless Rage is just like the best card I could have drawn, I think. So, go out with the Leonin. A little bit of an annoyance here is that these are both non-humans. So, gonna hit that and the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Go to combat, attack. Let's take out the Pyromancer. Oh, that feels so good, doesn't it? Not for the opponent, but... Now, the ideal thing to find would be the Trample Enabler, or Invigorated Rampage. And, yeah, opponent's just not having any of it. Cool. So, knowing that they are playing Dorat and Pyromancer kind of makes me want to bring in Lightning Helix. Maybe dunk one of the Guiding Voices, maybe two Guiding Voice. It's kind of one of the weaker cards in the deck. I think it's okay to take out. Or maybe I take out one of the Legionnaires. Yeah. And then the next question is, do I want Deafening Clarion, just in case the opponent goes super wide with the young Pyromancer? I'm not going to be able to get in very easily with my creatures. Some of them do have Trample, and of course Invigorated Rampage can help, but maybe it's cool just to have the Deafening Clarion to wipe the board. Yeah. And then actually, I'm kind of now thinking I might want to just bring in the Eldanto Vanguard, because it's going to be really hard for them to remove. And go down one more Guiding Voice. Try something like that. Little extra rusty today. I spent a lot of time making that video I put out on Monday. It's a shorter video, but surprisingly, it took a very long time to put together and go find all the clips and do the re-recordings for them. I'm going to put out the Lumimancer. It's a little vulnerable, but I think it'll be okay. But yeah, spent a lot of time doing that, and I've been busy with some personal stuff. I'm sure you've noticed behind me, the shelves are looking a little bit different. Getting packed up for big changes in my life again. So, you know, not as much time to sit around focusing on these videos, unfortunately. Hopefully things will settle eventually. Lumimancer dies, that's fine. Go out with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, and it stole the show last time. Maybe it can steal the show this time. Okay, opponent finds their third land, and it's a Soul Scar Mage. A little annoying because that can kill my Dreadhorde Arcanist pretty easily, but Yeah, they're not holding up mana, so I'm kind of thinking I want to kill the Soulscar Mage before it gets out of control. It's not gonna get out of control. It's just I don't want it to be able to kill one of my creatures easily. Shrinking the Dreadhorde Arcanist would be really annoying. But maybe it's the Young Pyromancer I gotta take care of first. No, I think I'll stick with my better judgment and just kill that. May as well attack in. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked there. I wasn't gonna block. If they attack with the Young Pyromancer, I think there's no way I'm gonna block, knowing they have Shocks and Pillar of Flame in their deck. Then again, I do have a God's Willing, so... Lots of thoughts going through my head, and I don't want to sit around thinking too much, which is maybe one of the reasons why I stumble into a lot of mistakes, because I want to keep things moving. But, oh, there's a problem. So I definitely need a way of pumping up the Dreadhorde Arcanist, and I need it right now. Is it worth it to use the God's Willing on upkeep to scry? I think that's a little aggressive. Yeah, just take 2. That's useless. Alright, well, maybe it's just set up for the next turn. And hope it works out. I wonder, I took out the Guiding Voice pretty quickly, but now I'm wondering if it's pretty integral to how this deck functions, being that there are 2 CMC cards in the deck now, and brought that in from the sideboard. Maybe it's important just to leave the Guiding Voice in so I can make sure to get easy kills on the Stormwing entities. Well, scry 2 to the bottom, that's good. But they have an island up, and that's extra bad because now I'm going to feel a little apprehensive about using a Lightning Helix if I can even do that. This Flood is also pretty brutal. Okay. I might just be dead. Kind of feel a little helpless here. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'm getting to... really? Okay. Well... Now I think everything just crumbles because any hope that I had is not, it's all gone. That's alright. It's only game 2. Can bounce back for the next one. I think I'm going to set a stop and actually fire off this God's Willing. Just because I need to scry. Red. What? Another land? Oh, come on. Alright. Draw me something good, please. Guiding Voice right on time, right? Okay. Well, at least I can do this. Is it grab the Inkling Summoning? It's a blocker. They nuke my graveyard. And no attack. Play out the Inkling. Play out another land. And I guess now it's got to be, chaining into some really good spells. Which this deck doesn't particularly do well. I guess I'm forced to block because if they have just one spell, I lose. Surprised they don't have any instant speed spells. Well, Invigorated Rampage is a really good card. It's something, right? Put out the Luris now. And I think I'll hold the land in hand just to make them think I have something. So you could imagine if I had drawn a little bit better, or if they didn't have the Soul Guide Lantern, the position would have been really cool. Of course, saying that's kind of silly. Like, I would have had a better position if I... if I had a better position. I would have had a better position if it were a better position. But now I just die. They have plenty of damage, and this poor Inkling is not going to get there. Wait, where do they suddenly... They didn't have any instances last turn, but suddenly they have... I guess that's the power of Brainstorm. Oh, opponent. Okay. Come on. You got to clear lethal. Just attack. You don't need to showboat. Alright. I think it's fine. Just got to kind of have a better opening. Still a little unsure about the Deafening Clarion, but... All right, here we go. Gotta take game 3. Show me a good opener. It's not bad. All right, keep that. Lead on the Selfless Savior. Go out with the Aldento Vanguard next turn, and then I don't know, maybe it'll just be able to chip away at the opponent. Sure. Well, I was thinking I want a Lightning Helix. Yeah, I'll probably Lightning Helix it. I could use the Reckless Rage, but I think saving the Reckless Rage for a Stormwing entity is probably going to be more important. Just, I know it's 3 toughness, but, you know, they could have a pump available. Soul Guide Lantern's not that threatening right now, so... That's okay. Land is good. I think I'm just gonna push damage. Okay, 7 damage coming your way. A braid. A braid? Okay. I was about to play out the God's Willing, but no, indestructible. Oh, I'll pay 4 life for that. Not indestructible, the protection. I think I said indestructible. Alright, so Reckless Rampage, or Reckless Rage can maybe get me through a blocker next turn, and then cool, just like that. I mean, I don't know what the opponent had in hand, but Aldento Vanguard doing it all on his own. Next one. Alright, so first match, a little sketchy. Things felt like they could have been tighter, and maybe I'm thinking about that more since I just made that video on Monday about, you know, tighter play and all that, but yeah, I don't know. Opening hand, not keepable. This hand, it's certainly keepable. Do I want to get rid of a land or maybe a Luomancer? Maybe it's a 10th District Legionnaire? I think it's probably just a land. And I'll get rid of the plains. Yeah. Thinking with putting the plains on the bottom, if I draw a Clifftop Retreat, I might regret not having a plains. Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't throw away action because of the Thoughtseize there. Takes the God's Willing, making me think they probably have a hand full of removal. It's usually what that means. So I think I'll throw out the Clever Lumomancer if they want to use a Fatal Push or something on it. I guess that's inevitable. Guiding Voice is not a terrible draw here. Okay, no action for the opponent. So I think I'm going to put this out on white and maybe just develop the board with the Soulscar Mage and the Selfless Savior. Let's see what they're up to. Jeskai plus black. So we've got a 4-color opponent deck playing Gigantha and Thoughtseize. What is going on? Well, that's a fantastic card, but didn't draw a land, which is annoying. Do they have a flash creature? I don't think they're going to have a flash creature, right? Okay, I'm going to try getting the Light Scribe onto the field. It is very important, and if I can use Guiding Voice plus something else next turn, maybe get a ton of value out of the Light Scribe. However, now that's making me think they might have a second removal spell. Okay, the opponent's playing a 5-color deck. That's sweet. And of course, they have that. This is awkward. Really awkward. Do I put out the Selfless? I think I put out the Selfless Savior. And then next turn, the 10th District Legionnaire can come in with haste. At least I have protection with the Selfless Savior. I don't know why this card is so impossible for me to say. 10th District Legionnaire. 10th Legionnaire District. I don't know. Some miswiring up here. It doesn't let me say certain things. Okay, so the opponent up to a comfortable 6 mana. Of course, they have everyone's favorite, Teferi 5.
I'm known for my excellence.
Drawing a card, untap a couple lands. Is that another Lightning Helix, maybe? Jiminy. Or do I go after Teferi? I think I just go face. Try my hardest. I'm not really sure. Getting stuck at 2 lands, the opponent obviously drawing well. You know, the answers that they need that line up against my deck. What's going on? Why Drawn in the Lock in this deck? Does that make sense? It probably does, because Drawn in the Lock is just an insanely good card, right? Even if you're not playing a mill strategy.
Hurry.
This is just rainbow good stuff, I think. And I'm going to need a better start to beat this kind of deck if they're packing this kind of removal in their main board. Is this maybe just... What's that 6/6 dragon called? Can't remember. Hydrate Crisis for 4, sure. Alright, so they gain a couple life, draw some cards. And I think there's no way, right? Right on time. I think I'll put out the Legionnaire and then just hope to draw some like super critical card next turn. And maybe the opponent has like a stroke and times out. Oh my goodness. What is this? This is absurdity. How it's almost like this deck is targeting my deck. I don't like that. If this were game 2 or game 3, I'd be fine with it, but I'm not fine with this in game 1. That being said, I haven't been playing much, so I don't know what the meta looks like right now, and maybe Boros aggro decks or just mono red aggro decks are all over the place. Yeah, okay. I'm not. Are you kidding? Can you believe that much removal? Alright, well, Adento Vanguard 100% coming in. I think that's kind of all I bring in. Alright, so Vanguard in, and I think I'm going to take out a couple of 2 CMC spells and maybe 1 Reckless Rage. Try it like that. Hope the opponent doesn't draw the removal side of their deck again, and that my lands and that work out a little bit better. Get to play first, and that is ugly. Almost great, but yeah. Throw it back, and you know what? This is not terrible, mostly because of the Vanguards. I'm wondering if I should just dunk the Lumimancer and hope to draw a red source. I think that's where I'm at. No turn 1 Thoughtseize, please. Okay. So, Vanguard out, and this card could be very troublesome for the opponent to deal with, especially if I get 2 of them on the board. Which is happening. Alright, got a good clock. This card's just... I want to say it's underrated. It's certainly not underrated. I think a lot of people are coming around on it, and they recognize just how strong it actually is. Gonna need a red source, though, next turn still. Be really great if I could cast out the Invigorated Rampage. Okay, Triumph for the opponent, and getting in for another 6. Not another 6, but just 6 damage. Is this a bug? I've seen this a couple of times now. It just hangs out over there. What's the deal with that? I wonder if I should have cast the Guiding Light there and got the Environmental Sciences, so I could have guaranteed a land next turn if things just continue going really poorly. But sure would also prefer my lands to be a little bit more consistent. Last game definitely flooded out at one point in the second game, and now back-to-back games where we're getting stranded at 2. Don't like that. Okay, opponent thinking long and hard about what they're going to do. Now I'm looking at this. I definitely should have played out the Guiding Voice, 100%. So we'll pay 4 life with that one, and then we'll use... I guess I should have made sure. Yeah, I'll use the Selfless Savior to give that Eldanto Vanguard indestructible. No point in wasting 4 more life. Okay, there we go. So that's going to be another 10 damage, and we put this on there. And that looks good to me. I don't know what I was going to choose. Man, the Vanguard's so good in some matchups. Alright. I think it's fine the way it is. Just leave it and move on. I'm wondering about the Reckless Rage, if maybe it's better to take it out. They're definitely going to have some blockers at some point, like a Hydroid Crisis. But maybe it's not so important to keep all 3 of them in the deck. I don't know. Okay, Vanguard again. Just gotta hope that the opponent doesn't have a turn 1 Thoughtseize. That's going to unravel everything. But what are the chances they have a turn 1 Thoughtseize? They're mulliganing. Okay, well, that's good. Put up the Lumimancer. Hopefully they decide to kill the Lumimancer over Thoughtseizing me. That's the thought process of putting. Oh, take the Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's a big threat to you. That's unfair. See, that's the game setting me up for sadness right there. That's 100% what that was. They teased me. No, they don't have it on turn 1. They're gonna have it on turn 2. Do I want to play out the Arcanist here? Or do I just want to hold up the God's Willing? I think I just want to hold up God's Willing. Slow it down a little bit. Not going to get in for any damage for quite a while, though. Darn, this... I needed that on turn 3. Or turn 2. Okay, there's the binding. So can... Oh, they missed their land drop. Interesting. Well, Arcanist out, and some can start maybe doing some crazy things next turn with this Rampage and Guiding Voice. Clarion, though. Alright. Guess I have to protect the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Protection from red. Yep, fight as one is good. Can't save the girl, though. But what I can do is I can push a ton of damage. Is that what I want to do right now? Hold up the fight as one and just push damage. Or do I do Guiding Voice? Maybe I do Guiding Voice. Grab that. Guiding Voice one more time. Academic Probation is such an interesting card, but I don't know what I would name with it. I think I just take the Inkling. I don't know about that. I wish I were a little bit more familiar with their deck. Like, I literally have no idea what's going on over there. I think this card might be one that I... oh, Exile, are you joking? Oh my god, opponent. Alright. Inkling time. Unfortunately, it's... Is it Inkling time, or do I put Lurrus in my hand? I think I put Lurrus in my hand now, actually. The problem with Lurrus is... I don't have... Oh, I do have that. Okay, no, it's Lurrus. 100%. Okay. So maybe next turn I can get out the Addendum Vanguard, because I do have another white source that I just drew. No. There's no way that this is lining up this perfectly for Mr. Henry Spleen. And I get a tapped land. Alright, go Inkling Summoning. You're my last hope. These two cards right here are absurd how they came out. I don't know. Maybe our opponent's a genius. Gotta protect it because it's all I got. Unfortunately, the anatomy is gonna not get it up quite high enough to avoid like another lightning helix. But gotta do something, right? At least I can Reckless Rage something. Fight as one is fantastic. I wonder if it's Invigorated Rampage time. Maybe not yet. Okay. So they'll have a Gigantha next turn. That's... Sure. So you're telling me that the opponent in game one had tons of destroy cards and they were able to find their exile cards this time because I have fight as one? Alright. Okay, well, what do we do here? Reckless Rage, and then Reckless Rage kill the Gigantha, get in for... I can't actually do that. Well, I can with the fight as one, but that seems very risky. So I guess it's Invigorated Rampage. Attack. God's Willing. Oh my god, do I win here? This is crazy. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. This game, like, everything was so fortunate for the opponent. Obviously, they had trouble with their lands, but the cards they were drawing were just so hot against my deck, and somehow it was able to find a way. Next one. All right. Game number 3. Got lucky with that last one, and that was feeling rough all the way through. Opening hand, got 2 lands, got a lot of 2-drops though. I wish I had a Soulscar Mage. Make this just about perfect, right? But I think it's probably fine to keep it. Lead on the mountain. Sure. Okay, mountain for the opponent, and they have their own Soulscar Mage, sure. So, maybe I put out the Dreadhorde Arcanist, because I don't think they'll be able to kill it. Although, if they hit it with, like, a shock, making it negative power. Oh, they have a Wizard's Lightning, so playing Burn. Okay. Need a land. That land was the best draw there. Unfortunately, the opponent, or fortunately, stuck on 1 land as well. I don't want to run out the Leonin Lightscribe into more damage, but I need to hope they don't have another 1 CMC removal spell. Okay. Opponent's not having any of it. So if they're playing Burn, I definitely want Lightning Helix in, and Pillar of Flame is probably not a bad choice. What am I taking out? I feel like the Lumimancers are going to be a little too vulnerable in this one, and maybe the Guiding Voice. Maybe I shouldn't be taking out the Guiding Voice. I'm still not sure about that one. But I think I will take it out. Try like that. Okay, opening hand looks really nice. A little creature heavy, but hopefully draw into something cool. And a Grim Lavamancer is annoying. So Selfless Savior to start. Thermal Alchemist, I like where the opponent's head's at. Okay. Sure. 10th District Legionnaire. I think if I can pump up the 10th District Legionnaire, get it up to, a 7/7. It's a long way down the line, but I don't think they'll be able to do anything about it, and maybe it'll just take over the game. Light up the stage with the Thermal Alchemist. Awesome little synergy there. And they hit a second light up the stage. Ooh, the opponent's playing Risk Factor. That's a card I want to like Risk Factor so much, but it just never works. So next turn, definitely taking out the Thermal Alchemist with the Reckless Rage. That will be a certainty. Opponent getting a little unlucky with those, but... Okay, wow. Going face. Sure. Well, we're going to have to slow this roll quite a bit. Mountain there is good. I don't want to take too much more damage from these shocklands. I think I should have maybe upkeep Reckless Rage. I don't know. God's Willing's good. I'm going to keep it. Take a little damage there. And do I want to put out the Lumimancer or the... I think I want to put out the Lumimancer. Hope they're not able to kill me next turn. Do I care about the Grim Lavamancer, or do I care about putting them down 4 damage down to 14? I think I want to do that. Okay, next turn I think they're going to be incentivized to cast one of these risk factors. I'm going to have to let them draw, but that's probably okay. Okay. Target opponent may have risk factor deal 4 damage to them. If that player doesn't, so I will decline. You can draw 3 cards. They only have 1 mana, which is kind of the bad part of risk factor, right? Well, it's damage time. I wish I could play out all of these, but that's not going to happen, is it? So, pay to life. Hang on. So, is it better for me to put out the 10th District Legionnaire, or is it better for me to cast the God's Willing? I think it's actually better to cast the God's Willing. Pump, pump. They can obviously try to kill something with the Grim Lavamancer. It's a little annoying. So that's going to go up potentially to 8 damage with the Invigorated, or 6. I think I'm going to conserve my life a little bit. Gonna do this. Soulscar Mage is not going to help me win the game, so put it on the bottom. It's 10 damage. So, I swing. They block there. So if I cast this, I'm going to get another 3 damage. Currently, I have 11 damage on board, but one of it's being blocked here. I think I just chill for a minute. They're doing damage to my face. Interesting. Okay. Do they just have the burn spells? Oh no. No, 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 not like this. Alright. Was there anything I could have done this game? I don't know. That was a lot of burn, right? Leaving the Thermal Alchemist alive to get all those pings in. I don't think I had an opportunity to kill it. Maybe I did. But maybe that would have been the big turning point. Do I want Deafening Clarion into getting lifelink? On the play. I like it more on the play than I like it on the draw. And then also the Aldenta Vanguard, although I don't want to be paying 4 life. That's a lot to do. Maybe take out 1 10th Legion and bring in a Deafening Clarion. I'll try it. I have a feeling about it. Okay. Yeah, alright. Reckless Rage plus the Dreadhorde Arcanist is going to be pretty crazy, so I think I'll put this out. Maybe I should have put out the Sacred Foundry, just take in the 2 damage. Since I'm probably going to have to do it anyways. Bad guy. Alright. Gotta stretch the Reckless Rage. This is not good. This is a lot of land. Is it worth it to kill the Pyromancer now? Probably. Okay, this might be a Lurrus game. If I can get Lurrus on the field, bring back the Soulscar Mage. Okay, opponent's stuck on 2 life. We have... or not 2 life, rather 2 lands. And we have all the lands, so... I think usually Flood does a little bit better than Screw, and the opponent just giving up. Alright, cool. Hey, that's Mythic. I don't know if it was earned. Doesn't matter. Alright, so, final match, now in Mythic. Took my time getting there this season, but made it. And I'm hoping to play one more game with this Boros Magecraft deck to really show some of its power. I think I haven't really shown off its overwhelming strength yet. They've been okay performances, but I think it can do better. So lead on the Selfless Savior. Opponent putting a card over on the side, and we are drawing lands. But I think it's okay to put out the Dreadhorde Arcanist with the Selfless Savior on the field to give it protection. Haven't seen a lot of people using Foretell very much these days. Huh. Okay. So not great draws. Do I want to push damage is the question. I don't know if I do. No. Not with them having that mana open. It seems like it's maybe a Prismari Command. Maybe it's a counterspell. Okay. Yeah. Don't need to go too hard. So they gain back all the life that we've done, all the damage we've done to them. It's all gone thanks to a Lightning Helix. Which, new art, I think this event just started yesterday for me. Maybe today. I have to play in that event and get this super sweet Lightning Helix art. Fight is one. Not too bad. Okay, this time I think I am going to push the damage because, well, this could be a Saw It Coming, right? Gonna try. Okay. Nine damage on the old Dreadhorde Arcanist. Opponent's just saying, sure, bring it. And I guess I'm going to put out another Selfless Savior. No, it was a Saw Coming, and the opponent allowed the Invigorated Rampage to go through. That's interesting. Okay, deck, I would very much appreciate no more lands, please. Is this going to be a shark? I feel like this is a shark, so I'm not going to attack into it. Lightning Helix again? It's getting a little old, isn't it? Is that 3? No, that's 2. Feels like a lot more. Narset. Oh, my favorite. Let's see what she finds. Nothing. Oh, that means you should just concede, opponent. Great land. Try Luris. They might have counter magic for it. They do, and it's an absorb. It's a good one. Well, I think I'm going to hit Narset while I can, just so when they activate her next turn, she'll go away. At the very least.
Hone your prowess.
There's the Shark Typhoon, and if they can resolve the Shark... What are they going to put it out for? 2, 4, 6, 7. Putting it out for 5, and I can't do anything about that. Look at these lands, goodness gracious. I'm just gonna put out the Dreadhorde. What does it matter? I think this game is yeah, definitely lost. All right. Are you joking? I'm gonna put it out because it's fun. But yeah, you don't necessarily want to draw Dreadhorde Arcanist when your graveyard is 3 Selfless Saviors and a Luris, and the opponent has double Shark Typhoons. All right, we'll get them in the next ones. So Vanguard in. Okay, Vanguard in. I think Reckless Rage we can go down a little bit on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go down on all of them. I don't think I want any Reckless Rage, and then maybe one Lightning Helix. Something that can go face instead of worrying about creature. I mean, they probably only have Shark Typhoon for creatures, so yeah. All right, get to play first. Opening hand looks good. I don't think they play like one CMC removal, so I think it's safe to put out the Clever Lumimancer, then Selfless Savior next turn. That being said, I might not have a way of pumping up the Selfless Savior or the Lumimancer, so maybe it's just kind of useless to put it out turn 1. That's fine. Next turn, we'll have a pretty good attack, one way or another. Every time. Love their Lightning Helix. Selfless Savior. Yay. Let's grab an Environmental Science. Attack for 5. Super cool with the Rest in Peace here. God's Willing is really good. Okay, let's do this. Put out that. All right, and I think, yeah, next turn they got to do something real big here. I shouldn't say that because something real big's probably coming in. Brainstorm. All right, digging. You see so many Dreadhorde Arcanists and you think I gotta bring in the Rest in Peace, and then all the Dreadhorde Arcanists are at the bottom now. It's definitely how it's going. I think Lightning Helix is the one card I don't want to see right now. Electrolyze is interesting. I could cast the Fight as 1 and save both. Is that what I want to do? Like, do I care about the 1 damage from the Selfless Savior? Or do I just... So this is representing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 damage. Yeah, okay. Oh, I think I miscounted, but it's fine. Maybe, yeah, I really miscounted. I don't know what I don't know. I saw something. You know, math is hard, especially when you got so many triggers going off. All right, leave it like that. Should be fine. Okay, opening hand, good lands, but I hate having these kinds of creatures without any kind of action. Oh, this one's a tough one. I'm gonna keep it. Maybe against my better judgment, but I think I trust in the 10th District Legionnaire. Dreadhorde Arcanist is really good, but definitely need, obviously, something to target. That's something to target, but not really going to help me. So get in for 3. Got protection on board for the Legionnaire. Kind of wish this worked. Targeting this and I can get the trigger, but I don't. So attack in, and then I think what I'm going to do is play out the Dreadhorde Arcanist and keep up the God's Willing, and hope hope that's able to blank like a Boros Charm. Not Boros Charm. Lightning Helix. They got red mana, so maybe that's what this is. There's Lightning Helix. Might have a counterspell though if they have a... Ooh, almost good. They could have like a memory lapse here. That'd be real bad. Pro white. Don't want you. That's fantastic. What a draw. Okay. Get in like this. You know what? I'm going to cast it just to pump up the Legionnaire a little bit. Get a Scry. Don't think I want the Clever Lumimancer. Definitely don't want another land. I think I'm good on lands. So the idea, deal 5 damage there, hold up the Lightning Helix, and use Fight as 1 as I need it. Cycle for 0. Desperation. Love it. I would love a land plus like a board wipe here. That would be just absolutely fantastic. But Expressive Iteration, that's basically spinning your wheels. They got to do something huge with potentially 3 mana, and I don't know how they're going to get around this Fight as 1. Rest in peace. Okay. Well, pretty awesome. This deck it just slaps so hard. I love it. I love everything about this construction of the deck. Go to wrap up and talk a little bit about it. All right, so I think my record with this Boros Magecraft deck is literally something like 10-1. I only lost once to, I think it was Rogue, something like that. And all the other games I've played leading up to this video have just been awesome. Very little resistance in these 4 games because I was talking and my mind's a little bit fried after this weekend. Definitely my gameplay was extra loose. Like, I felt really sloppy. Still, the power of the deck is insane. You saw like it was able to pull back and win kind of out of a really bad spot. So I think this makeup of the deck is fantastic. The creator of this deck was really onto something with it. Invigorated Rampage is just a bonkers card, and I want to put it in any deck with Dreadhorde Arcanist. I absolutely love it. Light Scribe doing crazy things, of course. Guiding Voice, surprising me. It doesn't seem like it's much of a card, but you know what, getting a card from the sideboard a couple of times, you know, the Environmental Science and the Inkling Summoning actually became relevant. Also used it once to do a looting. I can't remember if that ended up being relevant or not, but overall every card in the deck feels really good. The creature count feels really good, and the sideboard with the Adento Vanguard is just fantastic. Love everything about this deck. Highly recommend you try this one out if you're into the Magecraft archetype. Well, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Take care for now. Bye-bye.